There we are. We're recording. So obviously, it's only us two today. So it's me. I'm obviously Finley, and then Jared interviewing you. So the first thing we want to know is who exactly are you? Like, what's your job and what's your background and little things like that.
Excellent. So my name is Dr Chris Kirk. I'm a Senior Lecturer of Sport and Exercise Physiology here at Sheffield Hallam University. I also have a small private practice called Altia Sports Performance, where I work with a small number of amateur and professional athletes, supporting their physiological adaptations and performance around their sport. And generally speaking, I'm a sport and exercise scientist, in that I conduct research and teaching here at the university and working with different clients to help support them either in their own training or in their own research with their own athletes and their own teams. In terms of my background, I grew up involved in a range of different sports. I played basketball for 15, 16, 17 years, and then transitioned into combat sports, specifically Taekwondo, then MMA, and now Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, maybe around 17, 18 years ago. And I got into sports science as a career maybe around 2007, 2008. And in that time I progressed through bachelor's to master's to PhD, and that's where I am now. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, cool, nice one. A lot of experience for sure. So yeah, what we would basically want to know, obviously we know a bit, but I'm wondering if you can go into it a bit more regarding what exactly is CASES.
Yeah, so CASES is the Chartered Association of Sport and Exercise Sciences, and it's the professional body for sport and exercise sciences in the United Kingdom. It was established in the mid-80s, originally as BAS and then BASES, before becoming CASES a couple of years ago. Now, the role of CASES is to provide a professional development framework for sport and exercise scientists, going straight from school through to college, university, and then out into the career, out into whatever career they tend to either decide to move towards. So that professional framework includes a code of conduct that we as sport and exercise scientists need to work towards, both to ensure that we're providing the most appropriate application of scientific principles to our work, but also keeping our clients and athletes safe within that realm as well. So CASES has three main divisions, or three main disciplines, which is physiology, biomechanics, and psychology, and several subdivisions below each of those overall disciplines that allows us to cater to people who want to be applied physiologists, or strength and conditioning coaches, or nutritionists, or even performance analysts, or even people working in health-related fields, such as people working with clients who are looking to lose weight or come back from injury. In the psychological realm, we also provide for, as well as performance psychologists, people who are working on health-based psychology as well. And then there's all the medical and recovery applications of biomechanics around injuries, around helping protect people from falls when they are getting older, and helping people become safer, fitter versions of themselves as well. So that professional framework allows us to have networking opportunities, that allows us to develop an entire community of sport and exercise scientists whilst developing in their careers as well.
Can I just ask, what's the difference between CASES and its previous branding? Like, was it BASES you mentioned?
Yeah.
What's the difference basically?
So the main difference is that BASES was the British Association of Sport and Exercise Sciences, and it became the Chartered Association last year when the organisation gained chartered status. Now, chartered status is given by essentially the monarch of the United Kingdom via the government, and it's an indication that that organisation is the preeminent professional body for that profession, which means that the profession itself is a qualified profession, it's a skilled profession, and it provides a good for society in the country as a whole. So that chartered status came last year, which required the name change from the British Association to the Chartered Association. But in terms of the role the organisation performs, it's still the same as when it was BASES.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so basically, how did you get into cases and how did you join?
So I think I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that I became a sports scientist around about 2008, 2009. Now, I've been teaching in sixth form colleges for a couple of years, mainly around sports studies and sports coaching, but I found myself being drawn more towards the science side of sports. So I'd already heard of BASES previously, so I decided to look at what potential benefits might be provided by joining BASES, and I joined as a professional member in, I think, 2009. Now, the main reason I joined was for the networking opportunities, for the opportunities for continuing professional development, and also to see how it could support me to become a fully fledged sports scientist rather than someone who's just interested in sports science. And from there, I started going to conferences, I started going to the different workshops, I started attending webinars, and started to engage myself with the community and with the organisation overall.
Cool. Jared, do you want to go into this one?
Yeah, more than happy to. So, who have cases sort of previously worked with? What has the future looked like for them? What's the future looking like for cases in terms of who cases are trying to work with in the future as well?
Great question. So in terms of who cases in the previous incarnation of the organisation I work with, essentially every organisation that's involved in sports in the UK and occasionally across Ireland and Europe as well has at some point worked with cases. So this includes the British Olympic Association, which still maintains a strong tie with cases to help inform what the structure of the British Olympic setup should be, how the athletes and the coaches should be supported, and what kind of processing needs to be put in place to ensure that the Olympic squads are able to go to the different games and bring home medals every time. And the same role is performed with the English FA around supporting the sports scientists who are working in that sport. We also have relationships with foreign bodies such as the French equivalents of cases, the Irish equivalents of cases, and the Australian and American equivalents of cases as well, to help develop that global approach towards sport and exercise science. Now, we also have a relationship with a body called SIMSPA, which, let me get this right, is the Chartered Institute for the Management of Physical Activity and Sport. I think I might have got a couple of those words wrong way around, but they've got a very mouthy title. But the work between those two organisations is to ensure that the approach towards public health, the approach towards physical activity is also built on scientific principles as well. Now, the world's very much changed over the last 20 years, and it's going to continue to change. So cases are looking to work with more organisations to see how we can develop and better instill guidelines around physical activity, health, and sports performance in a new a world which is far more reliant on digital integration, and also a world that's been affected by things like climate change and more instability in the world as well. So CASE is looking to work with more organisations to build on the platform that they've got to get more of these relationships up and running.
Okay, thank you. And I do have just another short follow-up to a previous question. You brought up networking previously and how you've benefited from that as a professional member. How would you say it's different for prospective student members and them trying to get on the ladder in sport exercise science? How would they network compared to someone who's been a member for upwards of 10, 15 years?
Well, to be honest, I think the way the networking works is kind of similar for both career stages. The only difference is the sessions that a student member or a graduate member might attend might be more around trying to build those initial relationships. So I'm going to give myself an example. When I go to a cases event, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a CPD event or a conference, I will already know quite a few people there, but there will still be lots of people there who I'd never met before. So the process will still be the same of attending these events and striking up conversations with as many different people as you can. The conference is a really good example of that, where the conference is a 2-day event where there's lots of different speakers, lots of different presenters, lots of different people there looking to start these relationships. So hanging around the presentations around a topic that you're interested in, if you stay after that presentation, ask a few questions and start talking to people, you'll find that everyone's kind of looking for those connections and that network along the same sort of topic. Now, that's obviously easier said than done. And when I first started attending these events, I didn't really know anyone at these events initially. I was still trying to find my own feet in this world. But it's just a case of going to these events and building up the courage to speak to people who you might perceive as being higher standard or more advanced in their career, or potentially putting those people up on a pedestal. But once you start these conversations with people, you find, oh no, they're exactly the same as the rest of us. They're just interested in sports science and they just want to build a relationship with people. So going to these cases events, attending the webinars, attending the workshops, and just going up to people and starting a conversation like you would do at any event where everyone's interested in the same kind of thing. It is easier said than done, but that's the best way of approaching it. Now, if you're not able to attend webinars or workshops or these kind of events, then finding out who the cases members are in a field that you're interested in and dropping them an email, finding them on LinkedIn, finding them on ResearchGate, or even on things like Twitter and X, even though we don't tend to use those too much anymore, and just striking up a conversation that way. People who are working in sport and exercise sciences, we want to engage. We want to get these emails. And as soon as we get an email from a student who's interested in a certain field or wants more information, it makes us excited, because those are really the people we want to reach out to. We want to nurture and guide people along that path. So if you're a student starting out in this area, go to the events, start conversations. If you're not able to get to the events, find someone's contact details either on the email or the university or employer webpage, and just strike out a conversation with them that way.
Great. And then, Jared, do you want to cover this one again?
Yeah, more than happy to. So we've gone over roughly everything that cases covers. So what would you say are like the main benefits to becoming a member of cases at any stage in your career?
So I think the main benefits, first of all, the biggest benefit is having that community and that network around you, being able to understand that the sport and exercise scientists in every single discipline are dotted all over the country and all over the world, and having that cases umbrella allows us to work as a community rather than isolated people dotted around. And depending on where you live, you might not have that many sports scientists around you, or you might not realize it until you do join cases and see who else is involved. So having that community and network, for me, is the biggest benefit. The second benefit is that professional development on top of your academic qualifications. So the main cases qualification that is provided is cases accreditation. Now, cases accreditation is a qualification, a professional qualification that shows that you are, first of all, a knowledgeable, and second of all, safe practitioner within your field, whether your field's physiology, biomechanics, or psychology. And that being able to show yourself as an accredited sport and exercise scientist is a big tick in the box for most employers within sports sciences, because that shows that you are a knowledgeable and safe practitioner. Now, that's the main large qualification, but underneath that accreditation, there's also the opportunity to attend webinars, workshops, and events with people who are really working on the cutting edge of sports science within the UK and abroad. So getting that chance to network and learn from these people in fairly informal settings allows you to get that extra knowledge on top of your academic qualifications as well. The final benefit, I'd say, will be access to the publications that KC's put out. So KC's has a relationship with the Journal of Sports Sciences, which is one of the biggest sports science journals in the world, where you can get a discounted access to that journal and all the articles in there. But KC's also has the membership magazine, which is the Sport and Exercise Scientist, which provides every 3 months has a series of articles written in a very informal manner in a magazine format that is a nice, easy way of digesting what's happening now in sports sciences, what kind of key topics are being broached, and where we're trying to take sports science as a discipline. So I said those are the main benefits of being a member of CASES.
Cool. Well, I think that's just about everything. I don't personally have anything else to add. Jared, do you?
Yeah, I don't think I've got any follow-up questions really, so I think that's
Cool.
all we've really got for. We'd like to thank you for your time today. I know you're
Of
probably
course.
quite a busy person.
Yep, no problem at all. I'm glad to help out, and I'm really happy that people are taking interest in cases and trying to promote the association as well.